For many players, the DLC time of the year is the one time that they come back to play through all of the new content. Faster players play through the content in a day, most take a few weeks, and some decide to enjoy it for months until the next one comes out. But we all know that in the GTA universe, time works a little differently. 2 seconds is equal to 1 minute in the game, therefore 48 minutes is equal to 1 in-game day, and as it has been 4,406 days since the game released, GTA Online has lived 363 years, which is not the answer we are particularly looking for. However, considering that GTA Online's timeline is in sync with real life, there must be an answer to how long do the GTA Online DLCs actually take place in-game. And in this video, I promise we will figure it out. Now, for starters, to try and find an answer to how long the DLCs take place, we first need to understand when they take place. And although I just said that GTA Online's timeline is in sync with real life, then this isn't actually 100% the truth. When GTA 5 released back in September of 2013, the online servers were not just simultaneously opened alongside it. GTA Online opened its servers a few weeks later in October. Therefore, from a logical standpoint, it would make sense if GTA Online took place after GTA 5, a storyline that has been confirmed to take place between July and September of 2013. However, as many of you might know, the timeline of GTA Online is unfortunately not that simple. It is confirmed by a lot of evidence that GTA Online actually took place a few months prior to the GTA 5 story mode, or at least the early part of online, but we will get to that in a little bit. Not only was this fact formally confirmed by Rockstar Games themselves, but the game's canonical actions really leave us no other choice. For example, in GTA 5, Lester mentions that he has been working with someone, but that they are too unpredictable.
Well, we're gonna need a crew. You got any contacts in LS or not?
I've been working with someone, but they're too unpredictable. I'll have to reach out to some other guys.
Who else was Lester working with if not with our online character? Therefore, most people believe that this line was a clear reference to us. Secondly, during the Import and Export DLC released in December of 2016, we can potentially sell a car collection to Jay Norris, a character that was quite blown away by the storyline. Such small little details can be found throughout the game, and I think it would be just a waste of time to go through all of them one by one. So, to quickly recap, we know that up until at least 2016 and the Import-Export DLC, the updates had to have happened before GTA 5, most likely in early to mid 2013. Meaning that we robbed the thse bank and the Pacific Standard, raided the Bolingbroke Penitentiary and the Humane Labs, helped Lamar with his gang warfare, became a CEO of Securoserve, and got ourselves an MC club, all in a few short months during around April to July of 2013. But there is a reason why I only mentioned the time up until the end of 2016, and that's because in early 2017, with the gun running DLC, the entire timeline of the game changed with one single sentence.
Yeah, it's 2017. I can't believe it either.
This might be the clearest possible indication that from 2017 onwards, the GTA Online timeline was finally synced with real life. And all DLCs since gun running have continued that way to this day. Take Lester talking about his actions of 2013 during the Casino Heist DLC in 2019.
I already took every decent score in the state. I cleaned out the Union Depository. I took down the IAA and the FIB. I rang the bell on half the Boss Act 500 CEOs. I have more money than I could ever spend.
Or the fact that Franklin was a married father of 2 children in 2021.
Hey, what's up? Can a low come up in your crib?
Man, fuck you, man. My kids up in there. I don't want your ass up in my house, nigga.
Oh, nigga, don't hate me because your kids love me more than they love you. Maybe if you quit being so uptight and let Uncle Lamar give them some game, you will have some harmony in your household.
Therefore, as weird as it is, this is what the timeline of GTA Online really looks like. 3 years of content pushed into a few months prior to GTA 5 in 2013. Then a 3-year pause from 2014 to 2016 where our online character supposedly just sat around and did jack shit. And finally, the great synchronization of 2017, from which point every DLC just took place exactly when they were released. Now, admittedly, there may be a few slight inconsistencies with this entire timeline. For example, Trevor coming to visit our online character before his supposed first visit to Los Santos in the GTA 5 storyline, or that the Christmas season was celebrated 4 times throughout 2013. But overall, this is the universally best possible timeline that we can come up with. Okay, so now that we have finally figured out when GTA Online takes place, it is possible to also ask the question, how long does every GTA DLC take place? And to find out the truth, I had a few different ideas on how to come up with an answer. Firstly, I thought that the best way to get an answer would to find any sort of clues on the map that would hint to certain dates or months that we were currently in. So I started searching for movie posters around Vinewood, commercials on the TV, billboards on the streets, basically anything that I thought would possibly have some sort of a date on it, until I realized how stupid this whole idea was. Firstly, the map of GTA Online is, with very few exceptions, the exact same map that was created for the GTA 5 storyline. Therefore, all the clues that I even did manage to find do not give me any information about the dates during which the online DLCs take place in. Because although it would be cool, Rockstar doesn't change the small details on the map for every single GTA Online mission and heist. Meaning that although the story of Online evolves with every DLC, the map itself largely stays in a kind of a time capsule since 2013. Of course, there are exceptions to this rule, like the Diamond Casino and the bunkers, but you get the point. Anyway, then I thought that the next best step would be to search through the conversations and cutscenes in which someone would say something about the months and dates that we had during some missions. Yet again, the closest thing I could find was the exact same sentence by Agent 14 in the Gun Running DLC, claiming that we were in 2017, which doesn't get us any closer to an answer whatsoever, because we already know that every DLC since Gun Running takes place in the exact same year it is released in real life. This is when I realized that Rockstar has done that on purpose. It is evident that Rockstar clearly doesn't want the players to know the in-game dates they were operating in. Why that's the case, I wasn't so sure, but at that point I started to kind of lose hope. Until I realized that there was one other yet harder way to figure out how long every DLC takes place. I realized that it was theoretically possible to go through every mission in every DLC, count how much time every mission in one single DLC takes, then add them up DLC by DLC, and ultimately get the answer that way. Now keep in mind, every single DLC has a different amount of missions, setups, heists, and other activities to complete, so the number will largely vary depending on which DLC we are talking about. Additionally, this method only works on DLCs that actually have storylines, meaning that DLCs like the Ill-Gotten Gains 1 and 2, Import and Export, Los Santos Summer Special, and so on, can't really be brought to an exact time. Anyway, to start off somewhere, I set up a few rules. Firstly, we only play the missions that are necessary to finish the main storyline of the DLC, so no side quests or Easter egg missions will be included. Secondly, between every mission that takes place, our online character needs at least 8 hours of sleep to make it more realistic, which kind of also meant that our online character managed to realistically complete one mission, setup or heist per day. And finally, if it is said in a dialogue that something will take a few days or weeks, then that is counted as extra time that will need to be included in between the missions. So, I decided to begin with the Doomsday heist, as it is perhaps the largest and most iconic one. Our online character goes to meet Lester and Avon on December 12th, 2017, as it was the day that the DLC released. Over the next 3 days, we will complete the setups for the first Act 1. On December 16th, the IAA facility will be raided by what seemed to be Russian paramilitary soldiers. During the next 4 days, we will complete setups to go and raid the Russian submarine that is strangely close to the San Andreas coast. On December 21st, we will come to the realization that Avon is actually the bad guy trying to take over America. Then we start to make plans and get ready for raiding Avon's secret bunker inside Mount Chiliad. Finally, on December 27th, we are ready to go all in. We managed to clear the bunker from Avon's private military and finally take down Avon once and for all. And with that, the world gets saved within 16 days. So quite a low number compared to, for example, the GTA 5 storyline, but that is to be expected considering that the DLC has way less content. Anyway, let's now take a look at what in my opinion is the second biggest DLC in GTA history, the Cayo Perico update. Mini Madrazo calls our online character to the diamond on December 15th, once again because it is the day that the DLC released. The next day, on December 16th, we will meet our submarine captain and soon to be longtime friend, Capitan Pavel. December 17th is the day we will visit the island for the first time, as there is a beach party organized by El Rubio himself. We will gather information there and fly back to Los Santos all in one day. Then over the next 8 days, we will complete all sorts of heist preparations that will make it easier for us to complete the heist. On December 26th, we will go and visit the island for a second time, this time to actually rob it. We will arrive back to Los Santos on the morning of December 27th, while the Madrazo family is still partying from the night before. Although all of this takes place in the span of 13 days, then canonically, we will go to rob the island again numerous times. How many times exactly is really not defined anywhere, but we know it to be a fact as Pavel seems to try and visit our agency in 2021, wanting to hit the island again.
Hey, do you know some crazy ass Russian dude? Some guy got passed through my office talking about some caviars and submarines and shit. Said he knew you. Something about want to take another trip to the Caribbean.
Although these two are the biggest and most popular DLCs of GTA Online, then the longest DLC in GTA history is actually the Heists DLC, which spanned over the course of 32 days. On March 10th, 2015, Lester contacted our online character to buy an apartment, so they could start completing heists. On March 11th, our online character actually bought the place. Then, starting on 12th of March, we get 1 day for each heist and 1 day for each of the setups, with also 1 day in between the actual heist and the briefing of the next one. Finally, on April the 11th, we complete the final Pacific Standard finale and get ourselves a bonus of $10 million, which we will use for the next few years to live a comfortable life. Anyway, I think it is really not necessary to go through absolutely every single one of the DLCs one by one like that, so these are all the time frames that the DLCs take place in. As you can see, smaller DLCs only took under a week to complete, while the bigger ones, like the mentioned Heists DLC, actually took over a month. So in conclusion, the answer varies largely on which update we are exactly talking about, but overall, these are the best possible dates on which the GTA Online DLCs will take place. And admittedly, in this whole theory there might be a few small missing details and errors, but generally speaking, this is the best timeline that we possibly can come up with in the game. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this documentary and I'll hope to see you all in the next one.